Thanks very much. It's fantastic to be here. Where's my podium? I feel naked without my podium, but it's great to see you all here so early in the morning. Thanks for coming. One of my themes of 2012 is that the future is not going to arrive as quickly as people think it is. But actually what I mean by that is the future is not going to be what people think it is. I think people who think about the future in a lazy way think everything's going to change. We're all going to somehow be completely different people and do things very differently. But actually, I was struck by a statistic over Christmas which showed that television viewing, linear television viewing, has increased by something like 8% in the last 2 years. So people who predicted the death of television are wrong. More and more people are watching television. And one of the reasons more people are watching television, I know this is about radio, by the way, don't worry, I'm not at the wrong conference. One of the reasons they're watching television is partly because of social media. Social media tells you what your friends are watching. Twitter, I can't watch The X Factor on record. I now have to watch it live. Otherwise, my Twitter experience is significantly downgraded. And the same is true of radio. People might think that the radio is now a dusty box that sits in the corner of the kitchen because you've got so much more exciting things to do with your tablet or your computer or your laptop. Actually, more than 90% of the people in this country listen to the radio every week. We manage to consume in this country 1 billion hours of radio every week. I think that's an absolutely astonishing statistic. So video has not killed the radio star, and technology is not going to kill the radio star. Video and technology are actually going to enhance the radio star and enhance radio. And that's why I'm a passionate fan of digital radio. A lot of people think, why are you going on about digital radio? Everyone seems very happy with their FM radio. They can listen to Radio 4, like me. All their needs are catered for. You can listen to 5 Live, except when the fire alarm goes off on 5 Live, as it did 2 nights ago, ruined my night's enjoyment with radio. But actually, digital radio is going to bring a hell of a lot more stations to consumers, tailored stations and so on. But also, digital radio is a massive opportunity, particularly for the commercial radio sector, to enhance the service it gives to its listeners. Because the marriage of radio and technology is going to be transformative. The opportunity to tailor your advertising to your listener is going to be an absolute game changer, just as it is a game changer on the internet. And I think we forget as well in this country, another theme, one of my themes for 2012 is about this country getting its self-confidence back. Because I think we forget what an advanced nation Britain is. We love to talk about austerity, doom and gloom, but actually we're massive early adopters of technology. We're not only the leading creative nation in the world, exporting formats around the world, but we're well ahead of the game of almost every country in the world, apart from America, in terms of things like internet advertising and our adoption of smartphones. So when you talk about digital radio, I don't think you're pushing at a closed door. You're dealing with a British consumer who's used to adopting new technology and who's excited by new technology, and that's why I think it's such a huge opportunity. So I've launched the Digital Radio Action Plan. I launched that in 2010, and we're making great progress towards digital radio. We're passing key milestones. We're getting digital radios into cars. I think only about 1% of new cars had digital radio 2 or 3 years ago. Now it's something like 20% of new cars coming off the production line with digital radio. I think pretty soon it's going to be 100%. We're selling more and more digital radios. More people are listening to digital radio. We're putting together a financial package to ensure the rollout of coverage of digital radio. So I'm delighted to be here and to open this conference. I'm very pleased you're here at the House of Commons. I wouldn't go and gatecrash the Leveson inquiry. I'd just wander down to the chamber of the House of Commons and make your points there if I were you. But that is after you've listened to representatives from Facebook and Xbox who are going to tell you about how technology and radio can come together. Because the great thing about radio, of course, is you can do almost anything else while you're listening to the radio. And that's why so many people do listen to the radio. And then you're going to hear from Tim Davie as well, proving, I think, that the BBC, which still accounts for a significant proportion, the majority of radio listening in this country, how the BBC and commercial radio are actually working very much in harmony together about the future of digital radio. So I'm very excited about the progress we've made. I'm very excited about conferences like this, which really highlight the huge benefits and changes that will come from digital radio, and I think you're going to find it a fascinating morning. Thank you very much.